Hey friends, it is Friday, which means this is hashtag Flip Through Friday, hosted by Gwen at Gwen the Trash Witch. Go over, check out her channel. She does a lot of fun paper crafting projects. She's so much fun to watch. So before I show you what we're going to be flipping through, I just want to tell Gwen thank you. She recently did a flip through Friday using Goodnight Wind, and I'm not going to show you what's inside this book. I'm not going to tell you what this book is about. I want you to go check out her channel and check out her video when she did this book. I just want to say thank you though, because I ordered the book and Levi and I are loving it. We cannot get enough of Goodnight Wind. So again, thank you. And I'm actually passing a recommendation on to our homeschool teacher for this as well. So yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so what are we going to be flipping through today? You're probably looking at this book and you just see a man on the cover. And if you don't know, this is Elvis Presley. So this book, I recently purchased this book at the Goodwill for $3.99. And that's who this book is by, Dave Marsh. And this is actually a book that I bought for my mom. And unfortunately, she was only able to really enjoy it for a couple of days before she really just started not feeling good and sleeping a lot. I think I purchased this maybe about a month ago on one of my many spontaneous trips to Goodwill. But I figured today I was trying to figure out what we could flip through, and I kept going back to this book. So as hard as it was for me, I ventured into her room to find the book, and well, I found it pretty easily, thankfully. So we're not going to go through every page because it is a thick book, and this is pretty much just like I said, it's like a scrapbook, like pictures of his life. Elvis Presley actually holds some pretty dear memories for my childhood. There's actually a funny one I like to share. When I was growing up, I don't remember how old I was. I want to say I was maybe about 11 or 12. We had gone to my stepdad's parents' cabin in Gladwin, Michigan. And their cabin sat along the banks of the Tittabawassee River. And my stepdad thought it would be a great idea if we took the little fishing boat out in the middle of the Tittabawassee River and go fishing. But my mom would not leave the docks. She would not leave the shoreline without her little handheld radio with Elvis Presley blaring. So we got on the boat, we got out to where we thought would be a good point to just cast the fishing line. And it wasn't to catch fish to eat, it was like a catch and release. It was more of a recreational, just a fun thing to make some memories. There were no fish biting that day because my mom decided that it was going to be better to have Jailhouse Rock blasting on the radio. And she was rocking the boat so bad, we had to tell her to stop. Otherwise, we were going to tip the boat because it was just a small little fishing boat. And when we would tell her to stop rocking the boat, she would make the music louder. So Jailhouse Rock will forever be one of my go-to songs in my playlist. But let's jump into this book and just kind of see what's in here. I really haven't looked at this. Like I said, I bought it for her, and so you can see right off there's like what looks like newspaper clippings talking about his death. And I can't remember, I think, looks like that's a family photo up there. I think there was a copyright in this, if I remember correctly. So there's some more information on who contributed to this book. Yeah, we have a copyright right here. So the copyright of this book is 1982 by Rolling Stone Press. So there's all that information. And there's quite a bit of reading in this book too, not just pictures from the little bit I thumbed through it earlier. So actually what I'm going to do, kind of out of room here. Hold on. I am going to just kind of flip through and see. I'm not going to read any of the pages, obviously. I'm just going to kind of flip through and show you pictures. Oh, well, my mom was clearly reading it because I just found my mom's fashionable bookmark. There's a picture of Elvis when he was younger. I would say he might have been maybe only about 10 or 12 in that picture, I'm guessing. Looks like maybe a picture of his bedroom growing up. Now, if you've never visited Graceland Mansion in Memphis, Tennessee, I highly recommend going there. I was there last summer, but we didn't go inside the gates. We just stood outside the gates to show Mom the mansion, but you can see it from the little parking lot that they have outside of the mansion before you go in to pay and everything. But it is a really fun experience just walking through. You almost feel like you're walking with Elvis himself. It is such a fun experience to see all of his, not all of his costumes, but there's a good amount of his costumes, his albums, the way his mansion was set up when he died. And then all the way down to the family that's buried there on the property. I'm not sure if they have horses there anymore right now. I couldn't tell when we went last summer. I know when we were there 20-something years ago, there were horses on the property. So, again, it's just a fun little place. I don't recommend going in the dead of summer, though. It is really hot, especially in July. It was like triple digits when we were there last year. That looks like Elvis and his mom and dad. So this is how I know my mom was reading this book, because she took one of her, it looks like a tag from some socks that she has to bookmark where she was at in this. So as you can see, she got to page 10 in the book. So there's another picture of Elvis. But this looks like the school he went to. This is the high school. Yep, his high school. Young Elvis. Okay, sorry about that. Somebody's opening and closing the door. So you can see there is a lot of information in this book to read. There's another young Elvis there, probably in his young, maybe late teenage years or something. But this is just such a fun book. And I mean, for $3.99, you can't beat it. I'm just going to kind of float through some of these other pages because there's just a lot. There's a picture of Elvis with one of maybe his dogs. It's a picture of him on some, oh geez, look at this. Was he actually scared on that Ferris wheel ride, or was he just pretending? I wonder. It's kind of funny. Oh no, I'm knocking stuff over here. Okay, there he is with all his fan base signing his autographs. Now, I know not everybody likes Elvis, but I don't know. This is just what I felt to share. This is when he was drafted. It was no accident that Elvis was drafted at the time he was. The government wanted to put him back in his place here, Private Elvis in Arkansas and Germany. So that is him. Completely forgot all about that. And there he is going into when he got called up, getting his hair cut and all his health evaluation and stuff. Wow. Oh, wow. Look at this. There he is in all his army gear, army uniform. I cannot remember if there is stuff about this in the Graceland Mansion or not. There was some stuff we had to go through pretty quickly when we went in there 20-something years ago because it was just packed with people. They've since redone how you can do it. You take a bus up there and it's a little bit different. So here's another picture of him. I'm assuming in Germany probably. Yep, right there. It tells you where he was stationed at in West Germany. So this picture, one of the last pictures taken of the family together. So that's one of his last pictures of his family. Him and his mom and his dad. Still keeping that music going even when he's deployed. Love it. You probably hear the cat crying. He wants all the attention. So this is just more of his army years. This was a movie. I'm not sure. There's a picture of him there. On the set's a flaming star, and then so this one's Blue Hawaii. So this is on the set of Blue Hawaii, and then the other picture up here says it's Flaming Star. What is that one? Love Me Tender on the movie set above. So there. And on the SS Matsonia. Right here. And there is the front of the Graceland Mansion. I think that was the Graceland Mansion. Yes. South Memphis, aka Graceland. I'll have to see if I have any of my pictures, because the pictures I would have from our visit are the good old film pictures that you would take and get developed. And if I do have them, I'll have to share them sometime, because I know I took a lot of pictures. This was the Memphis Mafia team graduated from informal football games to uniformed matches. This was in LA in the early 60s. Wow. Football uniforms have changed a little bit since the 1960s. My gosh. what is this? Taking care of business. Some of the Memphis Mafia in the mid-60s. And then if you look, it tells you from left to right who is who. Surrounded by his mafia. He had broken his finger playing touch football with the team. Oh my goodness. Okay. Just some more pictures of him doing some recreational watercraft. And then there's this wedding. May 1st, 1967, when he got married. Wow. At the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas. And here is a picture of them leaving the hospital with Lisa Marie, who was born on February 1st, 1968. And there is a picture of him standing in front of the Graceland Mansion. Going through this book makes me want to go back to Memphis and go through the Graceland Mansion again. I would love to go tour the mansion another time. It's the pink Cadillac. Oh, we're getting into some of his show pictures. Unfortunately, Elvis had some issues with substance. And it does show in some of his later concerts. There was one he was singing, I think he was in Hawaii, and you could really see how swollen his face was from all the drugs that he had taken. Their honeymoon in 1967. So that's this picture. And then here outside the divorce court in 1973. And here is one of those pictures I'm talking about. You can really see where the drugs started hitting hard. We're almost at 20 minutes. I'm going to end this video here in a minute. I'm just flipping through the last bits of this. Last concerts in Rapid City, South Dakota on June 21st, 1977. So, right, the cemetery after Elvis. So, the preceding page was this, his last concert, and you can see in his face just how bad things had gotten for him. And then this is his funeral. His death. So his last concert was in Rapid City, South Dakota on June 21st, 1977. And then his death on August 16th of 1977. Wow. There's the funeral procession. Mourners outside the Graceland gates. Forest Hill Cemetery, Memphis, where he was entombed near Lattice Overleaf, Graceland's meditation garden, where the graves of mother and son were moved. Vernon joined them just weeks before the second anniversary of his son's death. You can see this there, of course. So, anyways, so what is this? Is this his discography? So there's a discography in the back with the years and songs, and then a filmography as well as a bibliography. So, yeah. So there you have it, friends. That is my Flip Through Friday. If you stayed with me through this entire video, thank you so very much. Normally my Flip Through Fridays are not this long. They're usually about 10 minutes, but I really wanted to share this book. And that was not even the whole book. That was just, as you saw, bits and pieces of it. So I don't know, you might be able to find this book on like eBay or thrift books or something like that, or just check your thrift stores. I mean, like I said, I found this just on a whim. I went to Goodwill and there it was, just sitting on the bookshelf. So I'm going to go tuck this back into my mom's bookshelf with her stuff and get on with the rest of my evening. All right, I'm sending love and hugs to all of you. And I will see you sometime in the next video. I don't know when, but sometime.